Your ability to earn money is the biggest thing you should invest in and spend time on and work on. And your ability to connect is your greatest asset as far as how can I help people?
Welcome to Sales Assassins, the podcast that unveils the lost art of word-of-mouth marketing for professionals just like you. We cover everything from building relationships and nurturing connections to overcoming the challenges of modern marketing. You'll learn how to stand out in a crowded market, charge confidently for your services, and create an army of people recommending you without hesitation. Now, let's dive in and make you deadly effective at sales.
Welcome to Sales Assassins. Joe, are you ready?
I'm ready. It's snowless down here in the Gulf of America this week, so no longer facing my... Thought I got away from it. Of course, everyone reminded me, what'd you move down there for? So anyway, 68 and sunny today. Weather's perfect. I'm ready to rock.
Beautiful. I wanted to bring up this idea, and I think we'll get into it a little bit here, a little back and forth. I think there's some tough love aspects to it in past episodes, and also maybe we see things a little different. This is good. I was listening to this book by Dan Heath called Upstream. Good book overall, but there was this phrase he kept bringing up that I just love is essentially this idea that the system of, fill in the blank, whatever you've got there, is perfectly designed to get the results it's getting, right? Even if you didn't purposefully design it, right? That you have a system, and even if you hate the results for sales, my sales are up and down, they're horrible. Well, that's exactly because of the input and the system that you've got in there. And I want to bring up this for this show, for Sales Assassins specifically, because I think there's this feeling around, word of mouth and building relationship that seems counterintuitive to having a system for that stuff, where I feel it's the opposite. You do these things in order to facilitate that human connection. You mentioned before we got on the show that this has come up a little bit, and you've got a different way of thinking about systems.
Well, let me back up first. So pillars in and of itself I call it a people system. And you're right. If we're talking about things, so technology or maybe execution on tasks or whatever, yeah, there's a whole set of systems we can go in on that. But what you're saying and what I'm hearing, and part of the reason that we organized it the way we did was it was a way to take the randomness out of getting the introductions and how I should contact people. So by design, it's a people system. The flywheel is built on people. So the input is my interaction with these people. So when do I do it? What do I do it? How do I do it? How often do I do it? What should I say? It's that system. It's just that it's around people. And I have a saying, like you may have heard me say it, there's a hygiene to the business where systems are essential, meaning it should be good. Our trading system should be good. Our insurance policies should pay out. When we process something, it should work. And those things have their merit. In sales, however, and I haven't read the book, but I would say he's probably saying whatever you're inputting, you're getting out. So whatever you're doing now is giving you the result regardless of how you feel. So I would take that and then put it into our flywheel of, all right, how do I interact with my pillars? How often do I contact a prospect? I mean, one of the biggest issues and that needs to be systemized is pull through in a prospect pipeline. Do I leave that to like a random get back to me when you feel like it? Or, talk to me next week? I mean, the way we say it is whatever you leave to chance will come back to you in the form of an objection or a problem. So if I'm not systemized on how I incrementally work through my pipeline, it's just random now. And for introductions, referrals, that's all randomness. So in and of itself, pillars is how do I systemize my people interaction? And it's not automated CRM, by the way. You should automate what you can. That's a great system. Those touches should be automated. However, the connection part of it, there's an art to that. But if you just leave it to chance, it's too random. That's kind of my overview of when I think systematically about how to interact with the people that I want to have as clients or keep as clients.
And that's the important part of that too, is that there's, I guess, systems within system, right? Like you've got your overall, and
System.
yeah, exactly. And then but then building through that, and that automation can happen. Like you mentioned, there's a place for that on certain touches, but also that automation can just be reminders. Hey, talk to so-and-so. It's been 2 weeks, right? For you to then go and have that very human touch point, the art part of it. And I think that's a beautiful back and forth that, in our world today, everyone wants to make a YouTube video about how this is the way, but it's a little bit of everything in there. I think for me, my specialty on helping people become visible, right? For me, that's a system to facilitate getting that word of mouth, making it so the other person even wants to have a conversation with you and potentially be a referral or hire you or anything. And I don't think this idea is talked about enough to like put these things in place in order to have that human connection and get to that next human interaction that we want to.
Well, and if you don't systemize the contact in some way, you'll lose just through pure humanity, you'll lose track of time. You'll forget the last time I talked to someone. So I believe in CRM, and we have a pillars, it's a sheets, so Google Sheets or Excel or whatever y'all call it. I mean, it's not random. It's organized around, okay, when's the last time I spoke to this pillar? What did we talk about? What's the next step? What impact points did I uncover? I'm looking at all those factors, and then I can pull the sheet up and just say, okay, we've not given them the perfect gift in the last 6 months, or we've not asked for an introduction, or we have not invited them to a private client engagement. So I know it's like in front of me, the system tells me where my gaps are. And then the art form is, well, what's the next best thing, or what is the way that I connect with them? Because if you think about it this way, if I try to be efficient with you in my contact, it becomes meaningless. Like, how many texts do you get on your phone that are a reminder or automated? Like I don't know if this is a recent phenomenon, but I think all of us have got a sense of what's automated in ChatGPT. Like, even when I read ChatGPT, I know it's ChatGPT, and we use it. Like, we automate, delegate, eliminate, AD or whatever it is. Like, we utilize that. It's just when it comes to that last part of the relationship, the real connection, that's the hardest thing to systemize, because you're technically trying to make it as efficient as possible, and it's hard to be efficient with people. So I want my effectiveness to be what drives the relationship, and my caring and really truly being concerned or fulfilling or whatever it is. But if I leave all that to chance, it's like anything else. It's just, it can come, it can go, it's random. Because people get introductions and referrals all the time, but most of the time they're random. It's like randomly happening to them. So I really look at, okay, from a system standpoint, you need to have a rhythm that you go through daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually for those clients and prospects and the important people. And the one that, you see all the time, or that I hear about, especially in Assassins, and even in our own business, we are extremely judicious with, is what is the next step from a meeting? If you're going to systemize something, like if I had to say, here's one thing I would do, and it's been said to me a bunch of different ways. We say, don't leave anything to chance. I've heard BAM FAM, which is book a meeting from a meeting. I just heard that one a couple weeks ago from our coach. We were talking about it. So, by the way, you should eat your own cooking. If you're coaching, maybe you should have somebody looking at your blind spots. So, but it's that I'm just going to give it the ball back to someone and let them come back to me when they feel like it. And then law of diminishing intent comes into play, and you start chasing them around. So from a system standpoint, as to your point, if you're getting the results you're getting in your sales system, my bet is you're just not asking people to respect your time enough. And now it's a goat rodeo, and everybody's running around everywhere, and you're trying to track them down. If you're out in the audience and you ever make comments on our podcast, that's probably happening. So the biggest thing you can do is start to compress the time and systemize. When do I get back to someone? When do I ask them to take action? When is our next appointment? That you can do. and be very systematic with. So that's probably come up now 10 times, 15 times in the last 2 weeks. I can't get someone to get back to me is what they're, well, it's because you didn't ask them when you had them right in front of you to book the next thing. So now, like, as we were talking before, shit happens in our families. My wife broke her foot. I mean, like, my whole calendar's crazy. Guess what? That happens to everybody. I'm not a snowflake. That happens to everyone. And then it's, okay, well, what do I do now? So I hope that helps on your systems thing. Not 100% sure, but
Yeah, it is. It reinforces that idea. And there are a couple of places that this really shifts the energy. And I think it's an empowering aspect. One is when you let in the fact that that first quote that I was talking about, like whatever results you're getting, you've got a system around that to get those results. Well, awesome. That means I can change it. I can do something about it if I don't like the results. But secondly, whether it's pillars, whether it's another system that you're teaching, there's an energy of ownership, control, power when you sit down with your business and decide, this is how I want to approach this. Even if it's in the testing phase and it's the first one, when you start to think about each phase of your business that way, okay, what would be the system around this? What would be this? And yes, of course, then you're flexible and then you interact with humans and life and all of that. But my goodness, when you start with that foundation of a system in place, you can keep coming back to that. Okay, let me get recentered. Let me get back to this place and then go forward. That makes all the difference. You show up differently as a service provider or business owner when you have those things in place.
And you're not spinning your wheels thinking all the time. You're not, if you systemize if as much as you can, everything you can put into some form of progression, system, organization, whatever it is, you're not burning as much of your energy that you can use for creativity and connection. Like if you reserved the majority of your energy for me deeply connecting with someone, that takes a lot of effort and energy versus what should I do next or how should I do this next or, so even in our basics, like our one-on-one stuff, when we talk about a 5P day or something like that, if I just plan the night before what I'm doing today, that's a system, by the way, then I don't have to like show up, spend 20 minutes dillying around, getting my coffee, dinking around, thinking what I'm going to do. Like I'm burnt. It's like a wick. I'm burning it as I go. So the more organized and systematic I have everything else, the easier it is for me to be connective and creative with the people I'm trying to impact, which is hell, I think everybody thought they were going to get rich on AI this week. And I think everybody found out in a heartbeat that may not happen. So again, brings me back to like, work on this thing. Your ability to earn money is the biggest thing you should invest in and spend time on and work on. And your ability to connect is your greatest asset as far as how can I help people? It's funny, and I know I'm on tangent here, but I'm going to say, in church on Sunday, we were talking about, relationships and things. And our pastor was up and he said, what if every person you interacted with said, how can I serve you today? Like that mindset. Now, if you just do that and be random about it, like, okay, well, but think if your mindset was, I'm in a service business, I need to organize how I can get in front of as many people as humanly possible and serve all of them. And then my sales system, if I can compress that, how many people and how many lives you'd impact. So back to your point on systems, I'm all for them. I really am. However, they are not your savior. They aren't. They're necessary. They're hygienical. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the 1-2 or the combo of being highly organized around systems and being able to connect with people, that's where the crossroads are, even in Assassins. It's that ability to organize all this stuff and execute it and still be human, because I'm not pushy, salesy, cheesy, douchey, whatever you want to call it, incompetent, obnoxious. I mean, that I was just reading a list someone sent to me of me, but
I was going to say, did you say not those things?
well, it's here. I put it on my whiteboard to remind myself not to be that way. But you see what I'm saying? I think it's one of those things where there is a risk in reliance of too much upon those things, because once they're up and running, and the way that our society and technology and corporations and businesses move, about the time I get one down, I have to change it. So if I'm so reliant upon that, it actually slows me down and causes me to keep reinventing the wheel. So use them together. Be great at connecting, and your hygiene should be great. It's expected, by the way. Should be great. And I'm sure in the book, and I'm going to check it out because I like, good books. I agree. Like whatever the result is, work backwards, and it'll tell you exactly what system match there. I would give one, and I know I'm rambling, but I have one really poignant thing on this, and this is real. So this is in a coaching session this morning, and we had talked with our team last week. We were talking about cash coming through. So systematically, invoice goes out, and it's 30 days till due, and they're looking at cash flow, and I'm like, what if it was due upon receipt? That's not changing anything other than typing in your system of cash collection. So that would change your sales results and your profit results. Just little like that.
And that goes back to a mindset and energy thing. Number one, to open up the blinders and get outside of a system that's just oh, well, that's just what we do and what the industry does.
That was your answer. We've always done it that way.
Exactly. That.
Is there a reason? No, we just always do it that way. Forever.
Right. But then also there's a mindset around, oh, I could do that. I'm allowed to do that and dictate my own terms, to my clients. Yeah, you are.
Yes, you can. It's actually your business. And I had to be curious in that instance. I'm like, is there a reason for this? And no, we've just always done that. I think it was the preset on the technology from the invoicing. That's just how it came out. They just left it, which, we're laughing about it, but in reality, it's always good to, from a system standpoint, audit them. If we're looking at our cash on cash or our cash, every 30, 60, 90 days or whatever it is, if we moved everything up 30 days, what would that look like? And that's it's not like it was market demand saying that. It was just what we've always done. So I like that aspect, especially on the mechanics or the task oriented or the I don't want to say that, the non-human side of the business, like things that can be automated. Yeah, you should audit that stuff. So, because you don't know, it could be preset and you have no idea. So I again, which all leads to what you're saying, whatever system you got in place is getting you the result you're getting. So go back and play it back, run the Peyton Manning, watch the tape, and look at all the aspects.
Yep. All right. That's good.
Okay. I've done my job.
Wrap it up. Go systems, and don't be too reliant on it. There we go. In a sea of endless digital noise, your ability to connect and generate authentic word of mouth is your deadliest weapon. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to break through to the next level, the principles we discuss here are your blueprint for success. It's all about being the most trusted and valued in your network. To maximize what you've learned today, visit joinsalesassassins.com to see how you can become a true sales assassin in your industry. Until next time, keep sharpening your skills, expanding your network, and remember, in the world of sales, the true assassins strike silently but effectively by doing what nobody sees coming, building genuine connections and powerful relationships. Stay deadly, stay authentic, and we'll see you on the next episode of Sales Assassins.
This show is powered by Media Leads. To get your next great podcast produced, go to MediaLeadsCo.com.